Hello, hello. What's up, everybody? It is once again Wednesday again. Oh my God, Jolie. Hi. Nice to see you. I love Floyd. You already know there's like faces I just like especially love to see that I haven't seen in a while.
I love it.
What's up,
Jolie, I gotta ask,
Tanisha?
do people start singing Jolene? I'm sure all the time because I'm fighting every urge to like not, but
Melody.
I love it. Nice
Oh
to
my
meet
God, I
you.
love it. All of these faces, Tanisha, Vino, Felicia,
Hey, there I am.
Patrick.
I'm
What's
hanging out
up,
with the background.
everybody?
Hello.
Hi.
We're
It's
gonna get you guys know I like to wait till like 4 or 5 minutes after to give everybody a chance to kind of jump on.
I'm
How's
so
everybody
bummed I missed
doing?
you at the fair at the homeless
I
resource
know
fair.
I may have walked out right before you got there too. I had 3 events that day. It was gnarly.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow, you're just busy, busy lady. And
that's
we
okay.
will get together soon.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you saw my email back to you on that.
Yeah, I saw.
Wendy! Oh my goodness.
I just haven't got to
Okay,
it, but
no
I will.
worries.
All right, great.
Hi, Miss Wendy. How are you? Okay, we'll got a few more minutes.
Well,
Vina,
Floyd,
love your name. You're conjuring what I need today, so I love that.
we've got people from like all over the states in it every time zone today
I
too.
love it.
North Carolina represent
Mm. That's where you grew up, right?
me.
Uh-huh.
Listen, I don't want to admit where I grew up. I'm from
Uh-uh.
Oregon.
Oregon. Okay. Okay.
I'm
No
the only
shame.
one in my family not from California, from the Bay Area. My entire family
Mm,
went from Brooklyn to San Francisco and Oakland, and then I came along.
see.
Mhm, mhm.
So nice to see everybody. Patrick, Wendy, Joe, Alexandra. Hey, y'all.
I'll give you a little overview. So almost everyone on here is an early stage nonprofit. So they're within their
My
first like
favorite.
6 months to 3 years or so. So these techniques we're going to go over today is going to be critical for this group because, I love to focus primarily on early stage nonprofits. And these are founders right here. These folks are like on the streets,
I love
actually doing on the street work with youth, with families.
it.
Um, ooh,
And yo,
oh my God, we didn't do music again today. Oh, I keep effing up every week.
I just gave a webinar. We had about, I guess, 250 people, but I always start with webinar. I always start with music and I'm like dancing, like busting it down. So it's fine. We'll have a virtual.
Listen, Too Short is going to be playing at 1 p.m. Pacific next week on Wednesday, and that's my walk-in music,
Love
and that's
it.
how it's going to go.
I love it. And also, I just wanted to say, y'all, all I have my background is in frontline fundraising. So every single nonprofit that I worked for, I was the first fundraiser. A lot of times, I was the first full-time hire, and had budgets under $100,000. And so all of those organizations have budgets over $1 million now. So I want you to know that it's more than possible. These are the building blocks, and a lot of the organizations I did that in under 3 years, right? So it is more than possible. And
Boyd's cell phone number is
because you're here, you're already taking the right step. So I want you to know you already have everything that you need, right? A lot of people aren't showing up to the plate. A lot of people don't show up to even do the work. And it's not even, sometimes they want to do the work, but it starts in here, right? If you make the decision up here that you are going to do it, the answer is yes. Yes and yes, and you're gonna start to see it come, right? I always say to train your brain to reframe, because when you reframe, then you reorient, and when you reorient, then you can receive what you desire. So come on, y'all.
Floyd. Okay, wait. Can we just have can I just have a moment again? Could you just like repeat?
No, it's all about the mindset. I always say you got to train your brain to reframe, right? Because a lot of times, okay, let me just break it down real quick, okay? If you're not familiar with CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, there is something that is called the behavior chain, right? You get a trigger, which leads to a thought, which leads to an action, which leads to a consequence, right? A lot of times why people don't find success in fundraising is because they are triggered, right? They get a trigger when they have to ask somebody for money. They have the trigger when they want to email somebody. They have a trigger when they have to go out on the front line and actually do the work. They have a trigger when they have to plan a fundraising event. It's all based off of triggers. Why? Because sometimes asking for money, people have weird fears around money, right? And money leads to vulnerability, right? And you're going to say, and a lot of times we conflate, if someone says no to you, then they're saying no to who you are, right? And that is not the actual truth. Maybe it's not the right time for them to give. Maybe it's not the right cause. Maybe they're not aligned. But guess what? You're working towards yes. It's okay if they say no. Don't focus on the no. Focus on the right people who are going to give you that yes, right? You have to start, and it starts right there. If you can train your brain to reframe, if you can be aware of your triggers, right? And you can train your brain to reframe, then you can start to reorient yourself, right? And when you reorient yourself, then you're putting yourself in a position to receive what you believe. Okay.
Okay, bye.
That's it. We're just getting started, Travis. Come on. Let's
We haven't even started yet. Okay, so let me officially kick this off because y'all are in for a treat today. Welcome to the Nonprofit Plug and the Strategy Specialist Lunch and Learn. It is Wednesday, August 16th. Shamber, Amber, and Sharon. Oh, Floyd, I don't know if I told you about that. So
I love that.
we're Shamber now. So
That's
welcome
good.
to Shamber's Shit Show. This is our Lunch and Learn every single week. And we have got some loyal attendees. That's why you'll see like Vino's cracking up over there because he's like used to this. So this is fantastic. Every week we bring a different topic. We've got some of the same people come every single week. We've got some new people that come every single week. And this is something free that we provide to our community across the world. And will forever provide our Lunch and Learn for free because we want to constantly bring quick tips, tricks, techniques to especially early stage nonprofit organizations. So, and here today, you've got actually every representation of various types of nonprofits, mental health, helping kids get out of their areas and fly to other countries. You've got veteran service organizations. We actually have 2 vet service organizations on here today. Actually, almost 3, because Tatiana she does some veteran work too. So it's cool to have that. We've got ones that work with youth development. We've got sports. We've got people that focus specifically in Watts, California. We've got just like a range of stuff. We've got healthcare organizations. So we have great representation of all communities that we serve. And so y'all, I don't even know how to do this introduction of Floyd Jones. He is from GiveButter. So most of you know that I have especially our clients at the Nonprofit Plug, we have them use GiveButter as their donor management platform. If you don't use GiveButter, there are other platforms that do donor management, but we endorse GiveButter. It's the easiest to use. It has training. They have office hours. They have support. They have Floyd, like you can't go wrong. And so we love using them. And so over the past year or so, we've been developing a relationship with Floyd because he is what I call a subject matter expert in fundraising, in peer-to-peer fundraising, in donor cultivation, in just like, if y'all thought I was hyper, well, I don't know where he is on your screen, but on my screen, he's like, listen, y'all, we're about to get Floyd and I on stage together, and Amber, we're going to have you up there too, because that shit's going to be hilarious. He loves to just drop gems and help nonprofits succeed in whatever aspect it possibly is. So Floyd, I just want, if you can kind of go in. Oh, let me just remind folks too, we keep these super informal. If you have questions, raise your hand, throw it in the chat, interrupt us, just ask away. Today we are talking about donor cultivation, fundraising, and especially peer-to-peer fundraising. That is a great focus for those that are early stage nonprofits. You guys hear me say every single week, I don't like relying on grants. You don't have return on investment very fast with those, but that's eventually something coming, and it's a great simultaneous operation to have. And we've got the Nonprofit Plug grant writer here in the building today, Alex, and she has been securing grants left and effing right, over $100,000 in 1 month alone recently for clients. So it is an opportunity, but we want you guys to focus on every funding opportunity. So Amber with the strategy specialist, myself with the Nonprofit Plug, we have merged resources to really try to give everybody access to every technique. So we've got Floyd today from GiveButter. He's going to talk to us about some of these opportunities. Floyd, if you could do a way better job than me, besides the fact that I just effing love you, so much because of what you bring to the table for nonprofits. Give us a little background and a really brief bio, and then let's dive into the good stuff.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'm gonna do before I forget, y'all, I put this in the chat. It has all my things, my website, my socials, all the stuff, so y'all can keep track of me and stay in touch there. But I would say let me post that before I forget. But my story really, I was doing a podcast yesterday and I was like, I feel like my story begins before I was even born, right? My family's from Sierra Leone, West Africa, and I just came back from vacation with like 18 of us, and I'm like, child, I need a break. I need a vacation from the vacation, okay? Because listen, we loud, but it's fine. But the thing that I was reminded of on this trip was how oriented we are in community, how community really is the backbone of everything that we do, right? And every single time I went back home to Sierra Leone to visit family and everything, I see it in the streets, right? And so that was just translated for me in my work context, right? And I realized that, and that's why I really wanted to touch on that and highlight that, because so many people think fundraising is about the money. But I always say, if money is all you want, then money is all you're gonna get. And guess what? That's why what Dr. Sharon just said about relying on grants and all these different things, grants change like the seasons change. What happens if someone wants to shift their focus and you don't fit their scope of work? Then you're out. What happens if you're relying on a corporate donor and they get canceled? Because you know that happens, then you're out of luck, right? You don't want to be relying on anybody else, but the thing that will carry you is your community. The thing that will carry you is your community. So yes, I am a fundraiser. I've consecutively raised over $5 million for grassroots organizations, and that's directly. When I talk about the indirect grants that I've sourced or the corporate partners that I've connected people with, that's actual cash, right? But I realized that in all those different things, we did it from the ground up. We did it from the ground. I just mentioned to you, my entire career, I was the first fundraiser at every single organization that I worked with. I was the first employee at 2 of the 3 nonprofits, the grassroots nonprofit organizations that I worked with. And all those organizations have budgets over $1 million now, because we focused on community. So that's what I love to do. I am a fundraiser, like I said, but I'm a community builder first. And I'm super excited to be chatting with everybody. We're gonna get into the strategies, we're gonna get into the stuff, and y'all gonna know me soon, okay? I'm not the, yes, get your pen and your paper out, but I wanna know who you are. I wanna hear about your missions. I wanna actually hear about what are the hangups that you're having, and let's solve some problems today, okay? So y'all can walk away empowered and equipped and encouraged. Come on, somebody.
I love that. And actually, I'm going to pick on someone first because I haven't had a chance to talk to her in a while. And I feel like she's already kind of got a giggle behind her smile because she knows I'm about to call on her. Miss Jolie, I would love if you could share with the group, because your nonprofit is so unique and there's not many like them out there. So I want the whole group to hear about it, because I also think that there's collaboration opportunity. And y'all hear Amber and I say, like, collaboration is currency. So Jolie, share a little bit about the mission of your organization, maybe a couple bumps. And Floyd, I love that. Let's solve some shit right on the spot.
All right. So hi, everyone. I'm Jolie Amenike. I am the founder of Connecting Flights Foundation. We're based here in Los Angeles, California. My mission, or our mission, is to serve under-resourced families and children and provide them with travel experiences that they would never really ever be able to have access to. So my goal is to get families and children traveling domestically and internationally, get them out of their communities, get them an opportunity to see the world, build some education in that. And I think the biggest, when people hear the idea, they love it. They're like, oh my God, what amazing, idea. But when it comes to like grant writing and, trying to, there's traditional nonprofits, right? There's the need of the community, and that's what the majority of funding goes to. But with something when it has to do with travel, it's interesting and it's fun, but getting people to kind of enroll them and get them invested into the cause. The idea is amazing, but I think just trying to, I don't know, I think it's new. I just launched it in December. I have an opportunity. One of the reasons why I'm on this call is next Saturday, I have an opportunity to meet Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez. I'm going to be at a really big, one of the hottest fundraising events next Saturday. And I am going to be personally introduced to Jeff. And so I have a fear of asking for money, and it comes from my childhood. I was told not to ask. And I think a lot of our habits and our our feelings around money comes from how we've been raised. And so I am trying to step into my Leo boldness.
I love it.
I'm trying to prepare myself for meeting Jeff next Saturday, and we're also launching our first fundraising campaign next week. So
Perfect timing. Let
it
Jeff
is
be your
like
main,
right
your first donor.
week, right? So I'm very excited about the opportunity of our organization growing and being able to touch the lives of a lot of children. Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
Okay, Jolie, talk to me. Can you, why did you start this organization?
So this organization started, I went on a backpacking trip through Europe for a month and a half in my early 20s. And at the time, my brother and his friends were getting into a lot of trouble back here in LA. And I remember being on that trip thinking, God, if my brother could be here, if his friends could be here with me right now, like they wouldn't be getting caught up in this shit. You know what I mean? They wouldn't be getting caught up in this. And then fast forward, I had all these ideas of I went to Italy. My sister got married in Italy, and like 52 family members and friends, we all went to Italy together. And it was so impactful, like being in another country with my 3-year-old son and the way he soaked up the culture and just the way we interacted with the different communities, and traveled to Germany too. And that was just amazing. And then I got a divorce and my world completely turned upside down. Finances dried up, and I didn't have access to travel and do the things that I had desired to do with my son. And I'm like, look, I'm a middle-class person. Like I'm not even, I can't say I'm low income, but I said, God, there's so many children and there's so many families who will never get an opportunity to step outside of their communities. They'll never be able to see and experience what we got to feel. And I believe that travel should not be a privilege. It is something that is a gift to everyone. And I want to provide that.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so I am already connected to your cause, and I think that's amazing. First of all, let's give Jolie a shout out in the chat, because that takes a lot of courage. And thank you for tapping into your story. And I want you to see, first of all, everyone here is on your team. We're supporting you. We're with you. The next thing that I want to point out, Jolie, you mentioned that you have a fear around asking. But one thing that I want to point out is that you might have a fear around asking, but I don't want you to ask. I want you to do what you just did, because you didn't have any fear when you were telling me that story. Or if you did have fear, child, I didn't see or feel it, because guess what? You were tapping into your personal experience. When you were talking, you made it real. When you said you went to Italy, guess what I thought about? I was in Italy last summer, and I had an Aperol Spritz in my hand, okay? I was on a boat. I went on a boat to the south of the coast of Italy. And you know what? As you were talking, I was transported back there. Right? Anybody who has had that privilege and that honor of being able to travel knows exactly what you're talking about. And then when you just talked about how your world turned upside down, but you came back even stronger, that's what we talked about at the beginning. You reframed. You didn't let this problem lead to your plight. You let this problem propel you to your future. Right? You let this problem propel you to the next step, right? And that is what's keeping you going. And I want you, when you're talking to Jeff, but even if you don't talk to Jeff, because Jeff is amazing and Jeff is great, but a lot of times these big donors, they're going to give you one little check, and it'll be a big check. Let me not say little, it'll be a big check, but that'll be it. And you don't want a one and done. One and done is amazing. One and done is great. But Jolie and everybody else on this call, I want us to shift our focus, okay? Don't build for a one-time donation. You need to build for believers. You need to build for believers, because believers are going to be the ones who are going to carry you to where you need to be, right? So when you're talking to Jeff, when you're talking to anybody, I want you to get on that call and I want you to share your story. I want you to share your story, and I want you to share your vision. I don't want you to pitch Jeff, because Jeff gets pitched all day, okay? And Jeff is the master pitcher, okay? Let me tell you, those billions go around, okay? But what nobody else can do is share your story. Nobody else can do that. And so the next thing that I want you to do, I want you to talk to me about your campaign. How much money are you trying to raise? Give me the breakdown. What's the campaign about?
So this is just right now for operational costs, because I have fronted a lot of the money to get head this organization out of my own. It's not sustainable.
100%.
So we're trying to like start off by maybe like $25,000. Why? To help.
Why 25,000? What is 25,000?
Okay, we're not putting, so my team and I came back and we just like, we're not going to put a limit. We're not going to put a dollar amount of what we're trying to raise. let's see how much funds we can get in the door. I mean, let's just see, let's not put a cap on it, but I don't know. I need guidance. This is all new to me. I'm in new territory. So I need
100%.
some, yes.
So I would actually say don't do that. I would actually say, yes, give a goal. Why do I say that? Because people are visual, right? People are visual. Even if you need $100 million, $1,000, whatever it is, don't put $1 million on you as your goal. Don't do that. But what you want to do is communicate how much you need. You want to say, hey, our goal for 2024 is we need to raise $60,000 because we want to be 100% sustainable by the end of the year. And $60,000 is going to make Jolie full-time, and it's going to get me an operations person, and it's going to buy me 18 trips. We're going to be able to put kids on 18 trips across the country. And guess where they're going? They're going to Italy. They're going to Africa. They're going to California. They're going to wherever they're going, okay? But all of these things, you need to know what you're doing. Why? Because people fund your vision and they're going to fund you, especially in the beginning of your organization, right? In the beginning of your organization, y'all, nobody knows you, but besides your friends, your family, and the people who want to support you right away. Okay. And when you do that, but you have to communicate what you're doing and why you're doing it, and give people that opportunity to actually get involved and get invested in what you're doing. Right. And so next week, don't just launch that campaign. You need to actually have an actual goal. And if it's 25,000, that's amazing and great. But what is 25,000 going to do? And what is 25,000 going to get you towards? Because we already know 25,000 ain't going to fund the whole operation, but what's it going to get you towards? Right. That's step one. Step two, we need to add, what platform are you using? Tell me, GiveButter, child. It's okay if not, but I hope it is.
Give Lively. We were trying to use GiveButter, but we're using Give Lively.
No problem. Okay, two things that I want to say. Whatever platform you're using is fine, but make sure you're communicating the story on the platform, right? Make sure you add the pictures, make sure you add the video, make sure you add the whole shebang in there so you can really communicate this story that you just shared, right? That's two. Three is make sure whatever platform you're utilizing has good team member functionality. Because I promise you, if you straight up jump up this gate without the team members, it's not gonna be great. It's gonna be hard because it's gonna rely on you. People need accountability. So I want you to find at least 5 team members to join your campaign. Okay. And give those 5 people a goal. Say, hey, you 5, your goal is to raise at least 5 is to raise at least get 5 people to donate $50 to your campaign, whatever. That's an example. But whatever your main goal is of 25,000, break that up between 5 to 10 different fundraisers. Don't let it all be on you, because I promise what people do all the time is they put this campaign out on social media, they send maybe 2-3 emails, and then they're like, "But why ain't nobody donate?" Because you didn't tell nobody. And you didn't have the right infrastructure. And that is what you need to build. This campaign, yes, it's about the goal, but it's more so about the infrastructure. Are you building the infrastructure? And I want your goal to be, did I build the infrastructure at the end of this campaign? And make sure this campaign has an end date. It needs to be time bound as well, okay? When at the end of your goal, at the end of the campaign, you need to say, did we walk away and get some fundraisers? Did we walk away and start building an email list? Did we walk away and get people who shared our campaign on social media? What are your KPIs? Get incredibly clear on what your KPIs are. Because I promise you, if you walk in without knowing what success looks like, you're going to walk out not knowing what success feels like. Let me say that again. If you walk in without knowing what success it looks like, you're going to walk out without knowing what success feels like. Okay. So those are the things that I would give you. Is this helpful? Is this tracking?
Yes. You have no idea. Are we recording this time? Are we recording?
I was just going to say, absolutely. This entire session, every single week we record it, and I'll post it in the private Facebook group. If you're not in the private Facebook group, hit me up and we'll add you. Absolutely. This is going to be recorded because I need to sell today's.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why we do these, and why we like to use real world examples. And there's been a couple weeks we've picked on a couple of people, and on the spot, we problem solve. Like when we did the week and we taught about budgets, we took someone on the call and actually made their budget on the call, and that's recorded. This is why these are so critical, especially for early stage nonprofits, right?
Absolutely.
Another thing, Jolie, I would just say, down the line, if you end up looking for a platform, we have two different campaigns. We have a campaign for Black Philanthropy Month where we're donating $10,000 to Black-led nonprofits. And then for Giving Tuesday, we're partnering with Visa and donating $35,000 to nonprofits. So if you're not doing this for this campaign, think about it in the future because you're eligible for other direct donations in the future from GiveButter and some of our partners, okay?
Well, thank you so much. Dropping all these gems on us. Thank you.
I live to serve. All right, who's up?
Do we have somebody that wants to volunteer, or I love picking on people, so I can always pick on somebody. Anybody want to volunteer?
I'll step up since
Oh,
I'm like
Tanisha, I knew you would.
yesterday.
Tanisha, hey.
Perfect. And
Hi.
actually, with Tanisha's representation, it'll cover several people on here that have veteran service organizations. So I love it.
All right, so I started this nonprofit organization it's called the Vet Connect, and it's essentially to connect. I myself am a veteran, so I kind of know what it feels like to be a veteran and finding the connections and the resources that you need for so many different things. And so often in having conversations with like people that I know are vets, whether it be friends, family, or just somebody that I'm meeting on the street, we all kind of share the same story in terms of like not knowing where to look, whether it's like to file disability, like mental health resources, all of those things. Yes, we have the VA. Yes, we have different things out there, but I just feel like so many resources are like scattered or buried. So I just wanted to create a service where I can bring veterans together once a month. And in that once a month, I want to be able to connect the veterans and have this collaboration in veteran-owned businesses as well, so that I can shine light on those veterans too. And then in the process, educating the veterans could be like, my partner, she does a security. So we can talk about like how to do like protection and guns, and talk about how you can get marijuana legally through the VA. So many different things a lot of people don't know about too as veterans, right? So I just want to be able to educate, provide those resources, almost like a one-stop shop, and then eventually branch that off into transportation for veterans as well, making sure that they can get to their appointments, getting
Come
their
on, Vision.
all of those things. So I got big dreams, big things that I'm trying to do with this organization. In terms of like hiccups, I can't really speak to hiccups right now because I can't really say that I have done the work. I had this conversation with Dr. Sharon yesterday. Like I was working a 9-to-5 like most people are when they start their nonprofits. And so just recently I got laid off last month. So I've been a little lackadaisical with doing anything with the nonprofit, but she invited me to this webinar today and I figured the timing is perfect. And now it's time for me to start taking action. So
you said laid off, but it sounds like a layup to me. Come
yo,
on,
hello, somebody.
That's what I said. I was
It
like, this
sounds
is
like a
divine
layup to me.
intervention. I said the
Right.
exact same.
I love that.
Tanisha, did I not tell you that?
But a layup. We gotta put that on a t-shirt.
Listen, because
Listen,
that's
we're going to be
what you were
selling
telling
t-shirts
me.
up the wazoo. We literally
You gotta get a
had
merch.
this
You gotta get a
conversation.
site for merch.
Yeah,
Come
no, it's
on.
coming. Don't worry, it'll be up by the end of today.
Yes.
I love it. No, I mean, man, I am like blown away because you know where you're going, right? You know where you are going. It don't feel like a word search. It don't seem like what's happening. You know what's happening here, right?
Yeah.
What you need to do now is put it onto paper, right? Because you got to write the vision first, right? And I tell people this all the time. This is why I do what I do. People can't invest in your dream. Like they can't invest in what you say you're gonna do. They can only invest in what you have done. They can only invest in what you are doing. So it has to exist, right? It has to exist. It has to actually take shape, right? And so one thing that I want to encourage you to do is, what is phase one? So I'm going to drop a link here in the chat. It's called Back Black Movement. It's something that I just founded. I actually was able to get together 15 to 20 different platforms. We have over $50,000 of funding specifically for Black-led nonprofits, okay? And we're going to continue to expand for Black-led businesses and whatnot, but I want you to sign up for our mailing list because there's another opportunity. I'm literally going to send an email about this tomorrow, but I have top digital marketers who are offering free digital marketing sessions. And I feel like you would be great. And you and Jolie would be good, eligible. We're going to do free digital marketing session. We're going to sit down and we're actually going to put you on syndicated podcasts as well and share your story live. So child, we got opportunities out here. I'm fighting for my people, okay? But anyway, that's one side note. But then two, what is phase one? every time I'm working with an organization right now. He's a major creator. He's over 4 million podcast downloads. Has books that are selling like crazy. Same thing. I said, okay, amen. But what's phase one? Because he's building his community now, right? And I'm like, where do we start? Because what did I just say? If you don't know what success looks like, you're not going to know what success feels like. Okay. So we have to get incredibly crystal clear on phase one. What do you want to achieve? And when do you want to achieve it by? Okay. What do you want to achieve? And when do you want to achieve it by? Okay. And that needs to be clear, because especially you just said you got laid off. Lay off, come on, somebody. How much do you need? Let's talk about that. How much do you need to fully do this full time? Right? And then not just how much do you need, but what are the other things that you need? You talked about you're going to need social media services. You're going to need tools to send emails, to do task management, to do finance, to work with Dr. Sharon and Alexander to get these grants. Come on, somebody, right? I want you to write everything out, because it seems like phase one seems like we need to get the incorporation going and get the base of this all happening, right? And then you are perfect. You're perfectly in alignment for Giving Tuesday end of year. This is the perfect time. Start now. The thing that really I have chills thinking about this. Vet services is so fully on the nonprofit side. There's so much opportunity for funding. But one thing that I have seen a lot of, and it's not a bad thing by any means, it's not a bad thing, but a lot of people who run this sector, from my understanding, don't look like us. A lot of people who are like leading the charge in this arena don't look like us. So having an underrepresented founder in a space that's so important and so poignant, people are gonna say, hold on, let me get my funds together. Okay, you are perfectly aligned. Here's what I want you to do when it comes time for Giving Tuesday. So make sure phase one, remember, you write out all the things that you need for your infrastructure. Okay, Dr. Sharon is amazing at that, and their team has a whole setup for that. Okay, then the next step is get yourself aligned for Giving Tuesday, and that's where we come into play. Okay, here's what I want you to do. All of those stories, all the people that you talk to, all the people who can't find services, all the people who've been are veterans like you are. All of them. I want 20, as many stories as you can collect, okay? And you're gonna get them recorded. I don't care if it's on a phone, I don't care if you hire a videographer, I don't care, okay? But guess what? Throughout the entire end of year season, you're gonna be posting these videos every single day. You're gonna say, here is Tanisha's story. Here's Joe Schmo's story. Here's Jane Smith's story. Here's Belinda's story. Because guess what? People give to people. People give to people, okay? And guess what? All those people need to have fundraising pages up, okay? It don't matter, because it's gonna work. This is going to work, okay? All those people and you need to give yourself a goal. Don't necessarily, give yourself a fundraising goal, but I would say give yourself a fundraiser goal, because for you, this is going to work. Give yourself a fundraiser goal. How many people can I sign up where I can get their story about what it meant to be a veteran, how hard it is to transition back, how hard it is to find services and get yourself back to going. Get all those stories, get them to sign up to be fundraisers, and then have them raise money on your behalf. And come to me by the end of the year and tell me you didn't raise this money, because I'll be surprised. You ready? Come on.
I'm ready. Let's set go.
Let's go. Everybody can I don't get my email out. Y'all, this must be love, okay? Floyd@GiveButter.com. I usually send people to community at GiveButter because I ain't got time. We got assistants and people to support. Floyd@GiveButter.com, okay? I will probably only do sessions like this if Dr. Sharon asks me, but if you email me and you have specific questions, I will work with you and I will respond, okay?
And I just wanted to demonstrate to folks, this is what cultivation of relationship looks like. I have been cultivating this relationship with Floyd for the past 2 years. And because of the relationship that him and I have developed, these are the kind of perks that we get for all of our plug community. So I just want you guys to see that it does, just because I'm not a nonprofit organization, which actually the nonprofit plug has a 501c3 arm now. So we're going to be doing some work
y'all
with
do it all,
to get
okay?
y'all some more money. But I just want you guys to see that we are also an example of what it means to politrick. I did that for you, Tanisha. Okay. So that's an example. I'm not asking Floyd for money. I'm not asking him to be a sponsor. I'm just asking for the friendship of Floyd, because me, Floyd, and Amber drop gems. And this is my way of also giving additionally to our nonprofit community. And I just want you guys to see, this is also what donor cultivation looks like.
100%. Dr. Sharon's the only person who could text me on vacation and I text back. I'm like, all right, let me get you. All right, whatever, I'll be there. Have your people call my people. So
listen, and that's what he did. He's like, have your people call my people. So I have my people call his people.
I
Floyd,
love it. All
I'd
right,
love
I'm
to
so
see.
proud of you, Tanisha. I'm so proud of you. This is your moment. I just feel it. You started talking and I felt it. Okay, this is your
It is
moment.
her moment. It really is her moment. And she's on such a high right now. And I was telling her yesterday, like, this is the time to leverage it. And actually for everyone on here today, this is your moment and time to leverage it. Go off the energy of Floyd, Amber, and I. Like, use our energy and take that and just roll with it and go after all of this type of relationship building and strategic partnerships and, you know, taking the gems and the plugs dropped today and executing them. That's why we do this for you guys. And ooh, like, if you could see me, my arm hairs are up right now. This is what the shit that gets me excited too. Floyd, I want to have Tatiana tell us about her organization too, and do kind of another on
Let's
the
get as
spot.
many people as we can. I got the hour and then I gotta go to dinner.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Floyd, y'all is on the East Coast. Well, it's somewhere on the East Coast too.
Oh yeah. I forgot y'all are out there. Okay, let's do it.
Well, we're all over, but yeah, for the most part, Pacific Coast. So Tatiana, give us a little brief overview of your organization, which is also a new nonprofit organization.
Yeah, so my nonprofit is called Future Wealthy Minorities. The mission
Future
is,
Wealthy Minorities?
yes.
Come on, you sign me up. What you need? Sign me
So
up. You need a board member?
Thank you. The mission to the nonprofit is to essentially assist disproportionate youth to help them go to college or go to trade school or go to the military. Because one thing that I found is I joined the military after I graduated college and I didn't know what I was getting myself into, nor do I know many of the benefits that are offered to me. A lot of people are ignorant about the financial aid process. They don't even think they can afford college, but because they are minorities or they're disproportionate with finances, they're able to afford that opportunity. So I just really want to, you know, share that knowledge with everyone and give them that information so that way they can make informative decisions. We target financial literacy as well, because that's not really shown in our communities. And then at the end of the year, I would like to give scholarships to people who are going to college, going to the military, going to trade school, because we all can actually use that money to buy new boots, buy books, buy different things like that. So it's just hard trying to get money to like get the website developed and get everything sustainable. So I've been using my own money to get the site developed, because it is almost finished, but I just been fronting a lot of my own money to do all of this.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen, y'all. Let me just share my screen for 1 second. Let me share my screen. Okay. So I mentioned this campaign, Back Black, and walk with me, y'all, okay? So we produced an original video. If you go to my LinkedIn, you'll see it, or any of my socials, you'll see it, right? We got this entire website design. And mind you, y'all, I hired an all-Black team. I hired a Black graphic designer to do our logo. I had a Black agency to build our website. I hired a Black videographer to shoot the video, right? And I ended up getting over 20 different prominent platforms involved in this campaign, okay? When you click on the button, when you click on need backing, right? We have over $50,000 contributed from platforms across the space who are giving real funds to organizations, okay? Ask me, the reason why I brought that up, ask me how much money I contributed to this campaign. It's my organization. I founded it and I created it and I'm leading it. How much money did I put in to create this? And we launched 6 weeks ago. You got it. $0. $0. I did not lift my credit card. I didn't even lift, why did I say that? Train your brain to reframe, because when you reframe, you reorient. And when you reorient, you receive. I believe that what I am working on is so important and it needs to be funded. The thing that kept coming to me, you know how they said the revolution will be televised? I said, no, the revolution will be funded, period. Okay? We are going to get this funding. What you have in your head, I'm telling you this because you would not have the vision, you would not have the power, you would not have the concept, you wouldn't have the idea if it wasn't meant to be funded and put into the world. Your work is not to, so many people think we're in the fundraising game, we're in the this, we get the, no, your work is to be a bridge. You are a bridge that is connecting a donor from where they are to the change that they want to see in the world. You are a bridge between a funder and the impact that they want to make in the world. You are a bridge between a potential volunteer and the reality that they want to see in the world. You are a bridge. But if you want to do everything on your own, if you want to fund the website, if you want to fund the books, if you want to fund the curriculum, if you want to fund the volunteer, if you want to fund it all on your own, you are no longer a bridge. You are now a barrier. You are now blocking somebody's blessing. People want to be a blessing. The first ever campaign that I ever run, I told over 50 people, I said, you know what, y'all? Y'all are afraid about asking, y'all are afraid about rejecting, but no, what you really should be afraid of is blocking someone's blessing. Because people want to be a blessing in this world. They just don't know how. You have the answer. If you are on this call, you have the answer. You have the answer. But you are too afraid to open up your mouth. So what you're really doing is saying, I'd rather be a barrier than be a bridge. Okay? I have to point that out. That's one. Okay? Now, how do you make that actually tactical? You write it out. And you say, here's what I'm trying to do. Okay, I organized this thing. I keep going back to it because it's fresh and it's happening right now. We did this all within the last 6 weeks. And I said, I want to get at least $50,000. I want to impact at least 500 organizations. I want to get at least 20 organizations involved. And guess what? It all happened. Why? Because I started asking for it. If you have not because you ask not. Right? You have to start asking. And sometimes you have to understand if the door is not opening, you're asking the wrong people. You're asking the wrong people. Instead of asking somebody down the street, okay, well, let's see, who is he connected to? And I always say a no is never a no. It's either a no, maybe it's a no for you, but okay, well, can you connect me with 3 people who might be interested? Thank you. One thing I love about Dr. Sharon, why we always chop it up, is because we're always doing something. She's talking to me and I'm like, oh, you got to know this person. And she's like, oh, do you know this person? We're just continuing the whole thing. I have an amazing friend. He works for Rolling Stone. I just got breakfast with him a couple of weeks ago. He just finished working with Rolling Stone. Now he got a contract with Amazon Music. He's a really big host in that world, right? I have another friend. She just got a gig with Tidal. Guess what? I am getting nothing from connecting them. I get 0 things from connecting them. But guess what I do get? My blessings in heaven and in my heart, because I know that they need to know each other and they're going to do amazing things together, right? That's the currency that Dr. Sharon is talking about. That's the currency. So maybe it's not just, can you give me a donation right now? Maybe it's, do you want to join my mailing list? Do you want to become a volunteer? Do you want to join our board? Do you want to just come to a program and see what it's about? Because if they actually start building the relationship, I always say relationship first, and then the revenue comes. Connection first, and then the currency. Develop a relationship, and then you'll get the donation, right? Community has to come first. It has to be front row and center. And that's how you're going to begin to build. So what I say for you, Tatiana, all that to say, because you come back, so is he going to give me how do I get the books funded? He's going to come back. So let's go back to the tactical. I want you to write down how much it costs. I want you to write down every single cost, the website, the book, the donate, everything that you need to get. Write it all out, okay? From now until the end of the year. And then you're going to go into canva.com, and you're going to make a nice package, okay? And that package is going to include pictures of your youth. It's going to incorporate quotes from your youth. Link them to a video. I always talk about, because if you say a picture is with 1,000 words, well, a video is with about 55 million words, okay? Literally, get a nice video. People show the impact. Okay, people want to see it and they want to feel it. I'm still on a high from Tanisha. I'm talking about send me out to what we got to do, right? And you've been telling me Black Wealth. Okay, I love the name. I love the sound of that. What I got to do, right? People are going to get hooked. People are going to get hooked, and people want to support what you're doing. They want to get involved. They want to be invested in what you're doing. Just give them an opportunity, okay? And then from there, the last thing that I'll say, and I say this to everybody, I'm a believer of peer-to-peer, and I will continue to preach peer-to-peer because it is the way of the future, right? Who is going with you? Who is going with you? I think for you, a huge thing, Tatiana, is going to be your board. I'm looking at you and I'm like, you need a strong board, especially when it comes to youth programs, because there's a lot of youth programs out there. You need a strong board who's connected. Maybe they're in your community. Maybe they actually came from the community of the kids that you're trying to serve, and they went on to become, to live out their career dreams, or they're making the salary that they want to make and whatnot, right? And whatnot. Bring those people back in and have them join your board and say, hi, y'all. In order to make this happen, I need y'all to help me raise $5,000 each. And that's another thing, y'all. None of this free board. We don't have time for it. If you want a free board, they're a volunteer. That's different. Okay.
Give or get. We talk about this
Exactly.
policy all the time. Give or fucking
Give or get. Exactly. So y'all, none of that. No more of this just be on the board to be. If I needed advice, I would have asked you for advice. And there is a space for advice now. There's an advisory board. Come on, somebody, and that's okay. That's okay. But if they're on your actual board, not in the year of our Lord 2023, we need to give or get. Okay. So is that helping? Is this tracking with you?
Lloyd, I got one more attendee that I'd love for us to pick on real quick. And then
one thing I just want to say really quick to Tatiana is yes and no, reframe. Okay. How I found board members, I was in Baltimore City. Baltimore City is small. Okay. Guess what I did? I looked up every single company in Baltimore City who were aligned and wanted to fund my mission. Okay, that's the first thing that I did. Then the second thing that I did was I looked how many of them have junior members who they are required to be involved in the community. Because guess what? Banks, law firms, all these different businesses have people, they're junior associates who need to be on boards, who need to be involved in the community. And I always say, if you're looking for a one, pick me, okay? If you're looking for somebody, pick me, I'll be the one, okay? But you have to do the legwork. You have to research who's the top givers in your community. You have to research who is doing the most funding in your community, and not just the foundations. You need the corporate funding, because the corporate dollars are gonna go a lot faster, okay?
And one thing you can do is go on to other nonprofit websites, look at their funders. And if it's a nonprofit that has their 990 published, go pull their 990 and go see who their top 5 funders are. This is the best time to be nosy. And because nonprofits are public information, all that information is out there. And you better believe I'm nosy as hell. I will go look at everyone's 990 because I want to know where all this money is coming from, because I want it for my clients. I think we have time for one more person that we can do some game planning with. Miana, let's hear what you got.
So hi everybody. Good afternoon. So I am actually not Miana. Miana is my sister and one of my co-founders for our organization, but she was like, you need to get on a nonprofit happy hour. You need to do this. And so she was playing it last week and she was like, you have to do this. So
I love it.
I grabbed her whole computer and went into another room right now. Because I'm like, this is really pertinent, great information.
Who are you?
Okay, so I'm Shakayla Johnson. I'm Shakayla Johnson, and I am the executive director of a nonprofit, a Watts nonprofit, called Voices of Impact, formerly known as Your Special Day. And we provide services to parents with disabilities, parents and guardians with disabilities or chronic debilitating conditions in their children. So we provide supportive services to the parents, stuff like nutrition boxes, bi-weekly produce boxes delivered straight to their doorsteps. We have other programming for the children, like providing them with special days of outings. And sometimes parents with disabilities have a hard time doing recreational activities with their kids. We have a teen leadership academy teaching kids how to advocate on behalf of their parents. So we've been doing this for a number of years. We started in 2017, but as you know, having a nonprofit when you're a novice, when it's just a group of people with the idea, it takes a bit of time, especially if you don't have any mentorship, if you don't know, and it's a lot of moving parts to running a nonprofit. So for the last 5 years, we've been doing most of this out of pocket. We do have a few funders now. And we've been working with the Watts Leadership Institute. So they've been assisting us with becoming more stable and sustainability. But like, I've just learned so much just in this 1 hour. And I'm like super excited, especially just literally about the last thing you said about the creating the Canvas stuff and the videos and the Giving Tuesday. I'm writing all of this down because
Good.
it's even 5 years later.
Good. No, it's all a learning. It's all a learning. How much do you need to raise by the end of this year? And also, what's the vision? Like, where do you want to go with this? Do you see it as like more community? Do you see it as more part-time? What's the vision?
So full-time, vision wise, we want to have a physical space where parents with special conditions can come and take a number of workshops, and also for their their kids as well. We want to continue providing supportive services and connecting with as many nonprofits or partners as possible to provide this demo with services, because oftentimes parents in this situation don't like to reach out, a fear of getting their children taken away, fear of feeling like having the system look down or anyone look down on them, and not think that they can't take care of their kids. So this is a group that is purposely hiding and not asking for help. And so we want to provide them with services. We want to create a village, and we want to let them know that they're seen and that because people with disabilities also want to have children as well. And they don't want to feel like they can't or they're not supported, because, you know, everybody isn't born with a disability. Sometimes things happen. And either way, it doesn't matter. We all have the right to have a family and feel supported, just like everyone else.
Okay, this is gonna sound so strange, but as you were talking, the word "out of the shadows" campaign came to me. Like having a campaign that's like focusing on getting out of the shadows, and there's a light that's like literally like a physical light like shining on you right now, and I'm like, you're asking people to donate so they can shine a light, right? Like when people are getting involved, when they're making a commitment, when they're investing, they're shining a light on people who have traditionally, like you said, been in the shadows, right? And so I can see you mobilizing around that, and even the wording alone, people will be like, let me get involved. Let's get involved and get invested, right? But what you need to do is break it down, okay? You need to break it down and be like, hey, $50 is going to help us do this, or we're trying to do a capital campaign and build a building or whatever. But I always tell everybody, start with phase one. So what is phase one? Maybe phase one is we want to have enough funding so we can serve 100 parents this year, or whatever that is. And then once you know what that goal is by the end of this year, and y'all, this is perfect time because end of year season, y'all know 31% of all funding is raised in the last 3 months of the year, right? So this is perfect timing.
Like
for
4.2 million in the last, sometimes on Giving Tuesday, that day alone. Okay.
Yeah, no, Giving Tuesday last year raised about billion. Giving Tuesday last year raised about $4.2 billion globally, right? So one thing that I want you to understand is like, now is your time. And so I want to know, actually for you too, is like, yes, until the end of the year, but I also say, what's the goal for 2024, right? Because that's what people are going to invest in now. And if your goal is, hey, we need to be full-time so we can do this, we can have boots in the ground, great. What does that cost? And when you have somebody full-time, what are they going to be able to do with it? I feel like Dr. Sharon, a good session would be, yes, doing the budget, but really translating that budget into terms for donors to understand, right? And then that way people can break down, okay, hey, my goal, I figured it out, I need $100,000. Okay, what's $100,000 going to do? It's going to have a full-time person. We're going to impact 100 people. We're going to give them diapers and all this different stuff, whatever, because they need to be able to map it out. And when you can map it out, then you can communicate it with your community, right? And if you can communicate it, then communication is currency, right? If you can communicate it, then you're opening up the door for people to now be able to get involved and continue to fund what you're doing, right? So I would say the first place to start is, what is the goal for 2024? Okay, what is the goal for 2024? This is good. Oh, it's recorded. Okay. What is the goal? How many people will we serve, or how many parents will we serve, right? Where are we doing our service? Like, what is the actual physical neighborhood or community that we're going to be impacting, right? And then how much is it going to cost to do all those different things? So how many people we want to serve? How much is it going to cost? And then what are we going to do with the funds raised, right? Write all of those things down, like actually write them out and calculate it to a T, right? So then that way you can break down and say, okay, hey, this is going to get 100 people served. It's going to cost me $5,000 to serve one adult. So if you give me $1,000, you're helping me get a fifth of the way there, You know what I'm saying? And you can actually write that out. Okay, we have a major announcement, so don't leave. So that's what I would do. I would make sure that you actually get that clear. And then when you have that, that's phase one, then you start building a campaign around that. Okay, you can build an actual campaign and say, come on, shine a light. What's your organization called again?
Voices of Impact.
Come on, raise your voice. There's a lot we can do. Raise your voice, shine a light, all of the things. I'm ready and I believe in you. There's a light shining on you because you're about to shine a light on so many other people. I can see it. Like I really can see it. Okay, step into it.
I'm like left kind of speechless, you guys, because that was insanely awesome. So like with that, we have two major announcements. I don't know which one I should do first. We'll do the call to action first because I want everyone to leave crying today. So the call to action is going to be first. So what I want you guys to do is next week's Lunch and Learn, 1 o'clock and 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want each of you to bring a friend or two. Every single person on here, I want you to bring a friend or two. This info needs to be shared with our entire community everywhere. Okay, so that's call to action. Bring 2 friends. I know y'all got friends. Bring nonprofit friends. Bring your freaking board members because I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them about themselves is what I'm going to do. Bring your board members. Okay. Are you guys ready for this major announcement? Somebody needs to get some Kleenex. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, I'm going to let Amber do it because it's really like, it's all thanks to the strategy specialist. Shamber is a shit show. Are y'all ready for this announcement? Okay, wait, I want to see, can everyone turn their videos on that's available to turn a video on? Because I just want like some faces. Ooh, my stomach is bubbling. Ooh. Okay, those of you that can turn videos on, turn your videos on. I just love seeing everyone's beautiful faces too. Oh God, I love our people. I love these guys so much. Okay. All right. I'm good with this. Okay. Go ahead. You ready?
Well, so
Okay.
I think we'll all agree that Floyd is incredibly infectious.
Mhm.
And you going down the line and really solving problems for the members in our community. Cheers, literally cheers, because you never know who may have something you need. Okay. And you guys know, those of you who have been around me, I'm very tactical, I'm very strategic. Okay. So as Jolie was talking, I thought to myself, I can be a bridge, because guess what? I have Amex points, and most business owners have a lot of Amex points. And so as you were speaking, Jolie, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to, because I have to make a lot of purchases in Q4, like we were just talking about. And whereas I could normally write a check or what have you, I am going to be intentional to swipe, and double swipe.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So you have 2 round trip tickets
Oh my God.
that you can deploy.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
So obviously, please contact Sharon.
Thank you so much. What
You're
a
very welcome.
blessing. Look at,
And hopefully this gives you the confidence to know that these are things you can ask. A
Mhm.
lot of business owners, such as myself, who run multiple businesses, right? We're strategic, we're tactical, we're swiping. It means more to us to be intentional and then be able to give from it.
oh,
Okay.
thank
So
you so much.
I'm hoping that I'm making it less scary.
Yes, you are. You have no idea. Thank you. Like, this is just me being here today. Like, I've just felt like God was like, you got to be on this call today. I mean, Floyd, what you have imparted and the knowledge that you shared, and Amber, this is just such a blessing. Like this, you have no idea. Like, this is now like resurrecting that fire. Cause you know,
Yes, and this is something
Yeah.
you can get off
Yeah.
the ground, you can deploy,
Yeah.
you can get what you need, the tangibles that you need,
Thank you.
right? To
Yes.
distribute with your branding, with your communicating, etc. You know, you're rolling, you're rocking and rolling.
Amazing.
Get it done. Find the family. Let's
Thank
bridge the other
you.
gaps. Let's get it
Let's
done.
do this. Oh my
Can I
God.
just say one quick thing?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Jolie, child, I'm not about to be in my own tears, okay? But 2 things. One, now, Jolie, you can say that you have a corporate partner. Come on, somebody. You're not out here by yourself. You have a corporate partner, okay? And people love that because they can jump on. But
Yep.
then 2, I want everyone on this call to ask themselves, And you particularly, Jolie, what if you didn't show up? What if you didn't open up your mouth, right? Everything starts with yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Everything starts with yes, because you said yes. You were a bridge for Amber to say yes. And I want everyone to walk away on this. It just takes you saying yes. Say yes to yourself. Say yes to the calling that you have. Say yes to the mission that you're trying to build. Say yes, and watch the world say yes to you.
Yes.
It just takes you sharing your mission.
Thank you so
That's
much.
it.
Yes. You know, and it goes back to Dr. Sharon, when we first started working together at the beginning of the year, you kept saying you're gonna get a lot of no's, but you're like, I'm the queen of Miss No. Like, I know how to, you know, you navigate through that. And I was really depleted after sending in so many applications for different grants and just getting rejected. It completely took the wind out of me for like a good month and a half, 2 months, where I had to like pause just because I had poured so much of myself into this. And this is part of the resurrection. And I appreciate this. You guys have no idea what this has done for me. So thank you.
You are so welcome, so deserving. I want this to be like a lesson for everybody in the importance of sharing your story and sharing your mission and sharing who you are. And just by randomly doing this stuff, it's kind of there. And Amber and I and Floyd, we want to continue to support everybody. And, you know, we may have things like this where we're able to bless a nonprofit at various lunch and learns. And you never know who else is also going to be on the lunch and learn listening that may have a resource for you, may have a partnership for you, may have a connection. You never know. So y'all, it's 2 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern. We are done for today. Jolie, congratulations on 2 round trip flights for your nonprofit organization. Floyd, my brother.
What a blessing. Thank you,
We
Floyd.
love us some Floyd. You all, that won't be the last of Floyd. He'll be back.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining Chamber and the Shit Show today and the Lunch and Learn and the nonprofit plug. I'll see you all next week. Remember, call to action. I'm holding up 2. I was going to say 1, but bring 2 friends. Let me see 2 friends. Let's bless some more people with information.
Bye, y'all.
Buddy.
Congrats, Jolie. Tell Mr. Bezos to say hi.
I will. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.